All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to follow an application on its own little hero's journey. We're taking it from being just a container sitting on your laptop all the way to a live, scalable service running on Google Kubernetes engine. It's going to be fun. Let's start the quest. So, you've done all the hard work, right? You've built your app, you've carefully packaged it up into a neat little container, and hey, it runs perfectly on your machine. But that's just step one. The real question is, how do you get this thing out into the real world, where actual users can get to it and where it can scale up when it gets popular? That gap, well, that's exactly what we're going to bridge today. So here's our roadmap. Think of it like the 5 chapters in our app's adventure. We've heard the call to adventure. Next up, we'll get our toolkit ready. Then comes the fun part, bringing the app to life. After that, we've got to connect it to the world. And finally, we'll talk about solving those common hurdles that, always pop up.
Okay, Chapter 1, Preparing Your Toolkit. Look, before any adventurer sets out on a quest, they need the right gear, they need a map. It's the same for our app. We've got to gather the essential cloud tools to make sure this whole journey goes smoothly.
So, what's in this toolkit? It's actually pretty simple. First, you need an active GKE cluster. That's the new world where our app is going to live. Second, you need the G-Cloud command line tool. Think of this as your magic wand for talking to Google Cloud. And finally, you need your container image, tucked away safely in a registry, like Artifact Registry. That's how GKE knows where to go to find our app.
With our tools all packed and ready, it's time for Chapter 2, Bringing the App to Life. Seriously, this is the moment of truth. This is where we take that container image and we actually breathe life into it inside our GKE cluster, giving it a brand new, resilient home.
And we're going to follow this really simple 3-step workflow to get it done. First, we create something called a deployment to manage the app. Then, we define a service so other things can find it. And finally, we expose it to the whole world with an ingress. Let's break down what each of those actually means. So, step 1 is the Kubernetes deployment. The easiest way to think about a deployment is that it's the brains of the operation. Its whole job is to create copies of our application, we call those pods in Kubernetes, and to make absolutely sure that the right number of them are always up and running, healthy, and ready to go. This is what makes your app so resilient. Now, inside that deployment, these 3 fields are absolutely crucial. Replicas is you telling Kubernetes, hey, I always want, say, 3 copies of my app running. No more, no less. If one crashes, the deployment just spins up a new one. The selector is just how it knows which pods belong to it. And the template, that's the DNA. It's the blueprint that says, for every single copy you make, use this exact container image. And that brings us to Chapter 3. Connecting to the world. I mean, our app is alive and running inside the cluster, which is great, but what good is it if nobody can actually talk to it? This step is all about opening up those lines of communication.
You see, pods can come and go. They get replaced, they get restarted, so their individual addresses are always changing. A Kubernetes service totally solves this problem. It gives our group of app pods one single stable internal IP address. It's like giving a whole department in an office one phone extension. You always dial the same number, no matter who's actually sitting at the desk that day.
And this slide just nails the difference. The service is that internal phone extension, which is perfect for other apps inside your cluster to talk to each other. But to get traffic from the public internet, you need something different. You need an ingress. The ingress is the front door to the entire building. And this separation is super powerful because it lets you expose only the things that need to be public. So the ingress is that final, crucial piece of the puzzle. When you create an ingress object, you're pretty much standing on the rooftop and shouting, "Hey, Google Cloud, I'm open for business over here." It's the thing that intelligently routes all that external internet traffic to your app's service. And here is the real magic. An ingress isn't just some abstract idea. In GKE, when you create an ingress, it automatically spins up a real, incredibly powerful, globally distributed Google Cloud HTTP load balancer for you. It handles all the messy stuff, routing, SSL, scaling, all the things you need for a real, production-ready website. Okay, time for the final chapter of our first quest, solving common hurdles. Because let's be real, no hero's journey is ever completely smooth. Knowing what to look for when things go a little sideways is half the battle. So if your app just isn't working after you deploy it, start right here. This checklist will save you so much time. First, check your permissions. Does GKE even have the right to pull your container image? Second, check your quotas. Did you maybe run out of a resource, like external IP addresses? And third, check your firewall rules. Is something just quietly blocking the traffic? I promise you, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be one of these 3 things.
So let's just quickly recap the 3 heroes of our story today. We had the deployment, which is the brains always keeping our app running. We had the service, which gave it a stable address inside the cluster. And we had the ingress, which opened the front door to the entire world. That's it. Those 3 things took your app from just being a file to being a live cloud service.
So there you have it. Your application is no longer just a file on your computer. It's a live service running on Google's incredible global infrastructure. You've officially completed the first quest. So the only real question left is, now that you have this power, what are you going to build? And what will you scale next? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.